From the Tarrant County Criminal District Attorney's Office, this is CDA Chat. Senior citizens in Tarrant County, those over 65 years of age, are under financial attack. An army of con artists are at work, using an array of schemes to steal money and treasure from our residents in their golden years. Who are these people, and how do they do it? The answers may surprise you. Lori Varnell is chief of the Elder Financial Fraud Unit.
The largest group would be caregivers. People have been hired to care for someone who's dependent physically, and then those people end up exploiting their person that they're caring for. There's the one set that is hired from an unbonded, unlicensed source, such as Craigslist or some other ad that was placed. And some of those people have actual convictions on their record, but they're going through sort of off the books way to get to folks, and so they're slipping through any background checks because there aren't any being done. They already begin at an advantage because the person is physically dependent on that caregiver. And then many times they will go about isolating that elderly person from their family. The caregiver will then begin to talk to them about, well, your children just want to put you in a nursing home. They just want to take over your finances and not allow me to care for you here anymore. So therefore, you need to give me more power over your finances so that I can continue to take care of them.
Like one case Varnell tried, where an elderly woman was confronted by a caregiver to sign away her financial power of attorney, or else.
And by the way, you won't get any more food until you sign it. Here's your peanut butter jelly sandwich. If you want it, you have to sign. So you want to make sure that you hire a caregiver from a bonded and licensed source. They at least do a background check. Now, it's not going to prevent a crime of opportunity from occurring from someone who doesn't have a criminal history. But at least you know you're not hiring somebody with a blatant felony on their record to come take care of your loved one. The second thing that you want to do is change your loved one's address to a P.O. box that's away from the home that the caregivers do not have access to. And make sure that you monitor the mail for a sufficient amount of time to make sure you're not getting any additional mail that they are intercepting. The third thing that you would want to do is you want to make sure that it's not just one main caregiver who lives at the house. The caregivers need to live at their own house, and they need to come in shifts like employees. And that way you don't have that one source of power over your loved one. And then the final thing is you don't hire a caregiver and walk away. You need to stay very involved, and they really need to be located close to family so that you can drop in unannounced regularly.
The second largest group who steal from the elderly may really surprise you.
The children, adult children of the victim, and a lot of times that is one of the children that's put in charge of the power of attorney, that sort of thing.
But whether they are live-in hired help or family, the number one thing they steal is not money. It's something usually more precious and easier to find.
Jewelry. Make sure that your jewelry is put in a safety deposit box or in a safe, and that caregiver doesn't have access to it.
The third group of perpetrators preying on the elderly is classified as organized crime.
Seniors and people with Alzheimer's are targets of groups of criminals who are targeting them for their money.
Varnell says the organized criminals operating door-to-door, internet, and phone scams in Tarrant County are part of a nationwide group that rakes in $17 billion a year in fraud income, and 97% of their victims are elderly.
And they're in Tarrant County. Not only that, they travel to Tarrant County. Why? Because we have money here, old money.
And the scam can start with a simple message in a Facebook group, or in an email, or a phishing phone call. Something like this.
I'm stuck on an oil tanker, on an oil platform, and I have all this money from oil, and I need to get it back into the country. All I need from you is a little upfront money.
Then there is the grandma scam, a call from someone posing as a grandchild asking to be wired bail money to get out of jail, without telling the parents, of course.
It could be the IRS, it could be sweepstakes, you've won the Publishers Clearinghouse, whatever phone call, whatever check you get in the mail, and they ask you to wire transfer that money.
And they fall for it, sending millions of dollars in wire transfers, mostly out of the country, and mostly out of reach of the law.
Because they talk you into stealing from yourself. If you haven't seen the whites of the eyes of the person you're wire transferring, never send money over wire transfer.
This is the first time in my life, and I'm 76 years old, that I have said, I just don't trust people anymore.
In our next CDA chat,
We're going to ask the court to put him in prison.
justice delivered, convicting a perpetrator of elder financial fraud.